Carly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm wearing my roses shirt after the hometowns on The Bachelor last night. I
Love
thought it
it.
was fitting.
I
Are you
love
watching?
I am.
Who's your girl?
Michelle.
Yes. She's got to win, right?
She's got to win.
She popped those push ups at the end of the episode
I
during
know.
the champagne toast. I was like, okay, well, now why don't we see more of that during the episode?
She's my girl. I loved her from the minute that she was added to the show.
We were talking on our show yesterday. We do a one call debate, and we said, what is scarier? And you get to weigh in on this. What is scarier when somebody meets your family or meeting their family?
I don't know what I would have said before, but now I would say meeting my family because they're all looking
Fair.
at you like, mm-hmm, what?
There's a whole new lens we're looking at things through, right? Everybody gets to come in with different colored glasses than maybe say 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, you just made me lose the debate, so I appreciate that, Carly.
You're welcome.
I do want to say sincerely thank you for the song "Show Me Around." It is the 1 year anniversary of my dad's passing in 2 days, and I heard that song, and it literally yesterday rocked me to my core. And I was just like, man, sometimes music comes into your life at the perfect time. And I was just a sobbing mess, and I was just like, I can't wait till he gets to show me around when I get that time. So thank you for that song.
Isn't it such a beautiful thing to be able to think of death as something that's like sweet, that they're just getting the next phase ready for us.
How hard was it for you writing and both recording that song? Because I know it's for Busby, right?
Yes. Busby was my producer. Busby was super special to me on so many levels. And Busby passed away. He was diagnosed with brain cancer and died weeks later. So it was just a lot. And we were in the process of finishing I Hope You're Happy Now. And it was such a weird time. And I knew I flew out to his funeral, and they were giving a beautiful just uh, eulogy about him. And one of the songwriters that flew out as well, he said that he felt like Busby was getting heaven ready like he would Disneyland, because Busby had 3 daughters, or he has 3 daughters under the age of 10. And he said, to show us all the special parts when we get there. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I wrote Show Me Around on my phone. And that song, it was like the song that nobody wanted to write. I wrote it with two of Busby's friends and my longtime friends and collaborators. And it was kind of like when I brought them that idea, nobody wanted to do it because we just wanted to make sure that it was done with justice.
It had to be perfect, right?
Yeah. And we wrote it on Zoom, and it was just like, I remember they looked at me when I gave them the idea, and they were just like, okay. And it fell out in such a short time, and was actually the first song that we wrote for this project. And it just felt so meant to be for him.
How many times did it take you to record that, actually getting through it without just losing it?
Well, it was the first song that we decided in the studio to go to work on. And Shane McAnally and Josh Osborne were producing me, and they both, and all of the musicians in there, they knew the year that I had, and they all loved Busby. They had worked with Busby for years, and they understood for me what this moment meant, playing the first song on a session without my guy. And we were all super emotional, and just really felt like he was in the room. I think if you would talk to any of the musicians in that room that day, they felt it.
It's incredible, and like I said, thank you for that, because it's helping me get through this week. So I really do appreciate that music. When it comes to having such a hard year, you lose Busby. There's a lot of other things going on that we clearly find out in this album. It's like we lived it with you. Who was your shining light during the dark times? Like for me in this last year, it's been hard. My daughter Peyton, every time she's in the room, I feel a little bit better. Who was your light?
Mm, my mom, my closest girlfriends, my dog June, I got her, and honestly, God, just that whole mixture got me through.
When you are having a tough time, is it you call mom? Do you FaceTime mom? Do you text mom? What is the process there? Is it better to see her through FaceTime? Is it just a text that needs to be sent?
It's a mix. My mom and I talk all day, every day. We are either FaceTiming or texting. I'm very close to my mom and dad, and I spent a lot of quarantine with them, just kind of before the whole world knew what was happening, just to be close to them and to process it. And I mean, it's so funny. I was 29, but I felt like I was 12, and needed them so badly, and they were right there.
Have you always had that relationship with mom and dad been that close, or was there a rebellious time where you wanted nothing to do with them, or has it always been just best friends?
I've always been so close to them. My mom would probably tell you when I was like 16, I didn't think she was that cool. And my dad would probably say he wishes that I wasn't a teenager because I was probably a brat. But other than that, I mean, we're just a really, I have a very small family and we're just really tight.
Is there any words of advice mom or dad gave you during this year that really helped you get through?
Yes. I think the biggest piece of advice, my mom sat with me a lot and processed a lot of things with me. And, there's a lot of shame in decisions that you have to make and embarrassment, especially on the level that I had to make these decisions and announce them to the world. It's hard enough just to tell your friends and family, but for me, I had to be like, hey, world.
Hey, world, look at this that's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the biggest piece of advice she said to me was like, you're going to help so many people. And she was like, this isn't the life that you want.
Have you noticed that since 29 came out, because I told you how it's affected me personally, I'm sure your DMs are just flooded with, and every single song on the album means something to somebody else. That has to feel so good.
I'm telling you, I started out in this process feeling so much shame and so much just embarrassment, like I said, and sadness. And the way that the last, even 6 months since Next Girl came out, since all this stuff, I have felt so oddly connected to fans. And to me, it's the only difference between me and a fan is that I have the microphone. And this has, I think, humanized me on a level that makes fans feel like they're connecting to me more. And to me, we are put on this earth to impact people. And I feel like I have impacted people in a way that I didn't even know was possible and kind of like use my platform for so much good for other people. And that's what it's all about.
But did you have a moment of trepidation before this project came out? Because this is basically like a diary or a journal or we're sitting in on a therapy session almost, right? Did you have a moment of trepidation before it hit all of us? Like, okay, this is me being as raw and real as I can, and then it's up to them.
For sure. I mean, I was definitely nervous to put all of this out, but what I also had to continually remind myself is that I came onto the scene bleeding my heart out, telling you about the guy that broke my heart and every little thing. And then I bled my heart out again and told you that I messed up and that I needed to apologize to somebody and that I hoped they were happy now. So this is all that I've ever done. Yes, is it a little bit deeper when everybody knows like all the things? Sure. But it's like me staying true and authentic. I think if I tried to sugarcoat it or tried to go away from it, I think I'm the type of artist in the way that like Taylor Swift was, where like the fans can tell if you're not being authentic. And I just decided to do it.
And music means so much more when it is authentic. Country music is three chords and the truth, and you absolutely nailed it on this album. It feels so refreshing to hear something like this from somebody we look up to and we get to see and hear from every day. I do absolutely. I got one question left. I have to talk about Next Girl because you told me "Show Me Around" was the first on the album, and I always hear the biggest single or the first single from the album. Oh, we wrote that last. It wasn't even going to get on. Where did Next Girl come into play in the writing process?
So Shane McAnally and Josh Osborne produced this record with me. And it was our first 2 days of writing. So this was actually the second song that was written for the project and kind of just like started to make me see what this whole thing was. And it was so much fun for me to get to write this song.
I was going to say, as hard as Show Me Around was, this sounds like it would have been a blast in the studio, a blast to record, and just like a million pounds comes off you and like you want to go drink tequila after.
I literally remember when we were tracking this song and I pulled my headphones off and I looked at Shane and Josh in the room and I was just like, this is the moment where my music is going to change. Like, you guys are doing it. Like, I just couldn't even believe that I had found this sound. I was flipping out.
Not only the sound, but it's the best take on a breakup song ever. It's like, hey, I'm good, but just to warn you, hey, have fun with this. I've been through that before.
It's just such a cool anthem for me to be able, because in those moments when that happens to you, you lose your worth for a minute and you believe lies. And to be able to give girls and guys, because I've heard guys relate to this song as well, just that moment where you can turn up the radio and just like forget about it and be reminded that you are so worthy of it and that this is not your fault. That's so cool to me.
It's so cool that I was able to chat with you today. I always enjoy my time talking to you. Thank you for taking time to chat with me. Thank you for this album. Thank you for your honesty. And thank you seriously for getting me through such a tough week. I really appreciate it.
That means everything to me. So thank you.